You're such an asshole.
Oh, the sadness. The great sadness. The sadness. The men's don't want the women's. It's so sad. We have requested is if you have a request. I love Consultant Cat because I'm such a loving, compassionate guy. We'll answer your questions for the love of money. Love of money, center of all evil. No, I just like time, and that's time. Money is time. I like time, my time. You know, it's not all about money, you capitalist pig. Well, give me your money then. You must have gotten a liberal arts degree with that intelligence. Hey, asshole, I came across a video titled Women Tell the Stories About Decentering Men from YouTube channel Decenter Men. Link below. I would like you to watch the video and give a video response about your thoughts on the subject of women decentering men and how the women's menu from the book The Menu plays a role. Name your price. Thanks. So I said, okay, sure. And I watched it, and it was painful, buddy. it was bad. And I'll get to it later. I do not trust the vertical screens. If I see a vertical screen, I don't trust who's yapping their yap on it. And if you guys don't have to watch the video, but to summarize it very quickly, all it is clips, vertical screens of predominantly TikTok girls. Hey guys. And I'd love for there to be a methodology to figure out how much of that is legit and how much of that is absolute bullshit. This one I'm leaning towards a little bit more legit because the women weren't all drop dead gorgeous. But if you guys ever watch Taylor the Fiend, I'm looking at them. I just have a macabre fascination. Look, I'm allowed to watch my Jerry Springer. Shut up. Let me watch my filth every once in a while. But I kind of just it was the same thing. And this is to belittle Taylor the Fiend, but I was looking. I'm like, that's their grift. That's their shtick. They're a gorgeous, beautiful girl. I can't find a guy. And so all the men, oh my God, I stand a chance. Here's some money. You'll get up and you deserve everything. But this was not the case. This was normal looking girls. There was a cute gal there. Not hideous ones either. So I'm left to believe this is a little bit legitimate. This would be more than a, oh, link below. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And all it was women complaining about men and saying what men have been saying for quite some time. We say, don't pedestalize women. Don't put them at the center of your life. Back in the day, when the debate of what is MGTOW was coming along, I defined it as reprioritizing your life, where you do not put women at the number one position anymore. And in an ironic sense, you achieve more with your life, making you more attractive to women. So it's like killing two birds with one stone. And this is just that. These women have gone out and dated, perhaps gotten boyfriends, maybe even married. And it failed, obviously. They did not have success. I'm not even angry. I'm not even like, oh, look at this girl. This is what happened. It happens. This is perfectly fine, normal human experience. And they have come to the conclusion, or I will be cynical here. Someone came up with a cute word, a cute phrase called decentering, and girls like, oh, I'm all over that, sister. I'll bet you it wasn't like, they didn't sit down there like Socrates or Marcus Aurelius, in a very stoic, philosophy. Men are not bringing me happiness and joy, and I only got a certain amount of time. And so I, you know what? Maybe I ought to reprioritize my life to bring peace and contentment. They were consulting Eastern philosophy. They're like, oh, shit. Decentering, I'm on that bandwagon too. But I would agree that the way they arrived there was real. That was their experiences. My BS detector didn't go up. And so the idea of decentering men is no different than don't pedestalize women. Put yourself first, focus on yourself, and enjoy your life. And that's what the video is. And, and whatever variation and flavors of how that translated into the, I don't know, 30 clips of women kind of going their own way. I am done with men and little boys. And if he, and then they use their female speakies, which Donovan Sharp could translate for you all. But whereas it is parallel. It's very interesting and fascinating if you want to watch it. If you look at what we talk about red pill spaces and where you no longer prioritize women but prioritize self-improvement, we go to tangible, real words you can look up in the English dictionary. I'm going to go to the gym. Sometimes we add numbers. I'm going to bench press this many pounds. I'm going to make this much money. I'm going to lower my debt by this much. I will buy a house. We have tangible goals. The girls' goals, which it's their right in their life and they can pursue. I'm like, you're going to what? Find myself, my real experience, just this. Wait, I'm like, well, that's why you make less money. I'm just being honest. There was no healing. I need to heal. My process, my journey, all this crap. And there I will be judgmental. Ladies, knock it off with this ethereal bullshit. Okay? I'm all for self-improvement. I'm all for reprioritizing your life. I'm all for you making decisions and spending on. But if you're going to spend your money on not love and husbands because it's not coming, you're not happy. I get it. Could you not spend it on the word salad bullshit? I'm going to go run a marathon. That wasn't in any one of these girls' lists. It wasn't there. I'm going to go and buy a house. I'm going to get my finances together. Because you're doing the same thing. And I'm in agreement with both people here. The rare instance we all agree. You girls don't want the average guy. The average guy don't really want, well, he'll be okay with the average women, but there's not a reciprocal interest. Most of the gals aren't really in the market for marriage or marriage material anyway. I think it's all time we go our separate corners, we go live our separate lives, and we do our separate thing. Well, what happens to the future of humanity? Not my problem. I'll be dead, and I don't care. But we're obviously not making each other happy. All I'm saying, I guess what I'm trying to point out with these girls, why don't you make your life count for something instead of the standard Oprah bullshit? Like, have you seen? Have you polled? Go talk to the old boomer ladies who are homeless. Look at the article. I want to know where the Oprah acolytes are. I want to know where the baby boomer women who in the 80s and just couldn't suck Oprah's dick enough. Where are you now? How happy are you? And I would say for the women, look, do your wooey, why I'm going to go have a spiritual journey and travel. In addition to that, could you contribute to an IRA? Get your will and living testament together? Do the repairs on the house. Something that will, at the end of the day, it didn't just feel good, but your car is running. Gabby, do you know who you're talking to? Yes, I know. All right, I'll stop banging my head against the wall. So you wanted my opinion here. So let me go through a couple notes that I had, and these are not terribly structured, but somewhere in this diarrhea you'll find a solid turd of some points and observation. First, they're not wrong. Okay. And this I may defer from most people in the red pill community because I don't believe we are entitled to women. I don't believe you're entitled to any human being. And once you realize women never liked men that much to begin with, you realize, do you want to force someone to be your friend? I don't want to force anyone to be my friend. And I certainly don't want to force a gal to date me who doesn't want to date me. So, it's an insult. It hurts. But I don't even know if it's necessarily malicious. Now, when they start blaming men for all their problems and the patriarchy, yeah, that's malicious. But women's disinterest in men, I think, is biological. So I don't think they're wrong. They can't be wrong. It's their individual choice. If they're not having success with men and they're becoming miserable and sad and crying and lesser mental health and all that, absolutely. It's their individual choice. Me being not just a libertarian, but a slightly principled man, go. I get it. You've done the calculus, you've done the cost benefit analysis, you want to go, or maybe at least take a break. Fine, go decenter men and reprioritize your life. It isn't working. You don't want these people, male or female, to waste their lives. So I can understand. Now, you may be going on, I'm going away. And here's where you know where it's real or bullshit. Are they going to be the type that actually go their own way? Or are they going to be the kid with the ball standing by the playground, like yelling for an hour? I'm going home now. I'm going home. Like, go home. Go do your thing. So there's that. Also, some of the things they do list isn't, I generalize, but some of them had some ideas, like travel, living their own life. I didn't hear anything about, I'll get my CPA and start an accounting firm and make a lot of money. It was all middle school girl, teenage bullshit. But however they want to go live their life, I'd recommend some self-improvement in there. But they want to go, that's their time, that's their life. Go do your thing. Go do it. And so also it was an economic calculation. They looked at it, they said this isn't worth it, just like guys said with the girls they're dating. They're like, we're out of here. Perfectly fine. Your life, your time, you have sovereignty and right over that. Who are they? I kind of touched on this before. I do not trust the vertical screens, yet when I looked at the gals, they weren't super good looking, nor were they particularly ugly. There's a gal with blue hair. I was like, okay, it's just so common now. Oh, they got their basic bitch over here. Yeah, that's their robot they bring out to say the thing that it's programmed to say. I always wanted a blue hair robot myself. I wonder if they sell them at Walmart. Can I program them? Oh no, they're pre-programmed. You can't, that would indicate that you program them to do something fun or interesting or unique. No, that dog only does one trick: whine and complain. And they were all under 40. This is the thick of it, I would say. They look like, I don't know, mid-20 something gals, maybe approaching the epiphany phase, as Rollo Tomase would say. And they're ground zero for it. They're the ones they're right at where they're starting to find out the world is not turning out the way they want it. They're finding out work sucks. They're finding out their dream job isn't what their truly idiotic and disproportionately female teachers in elementary school told them about. You go save children, help save world. Foul hot money, foul. And there might have been like a real teacher along. Hey, you really ought to learn some math or accounting. No, I'm going to save children. You're a child yourself. You don't even know what you're doing. I like working with children. You're 8. Play with dolls. No, engineering, kid, come on over here. Why do you hate women? How do you say that at 8 years old? Oh, I know. You don't have a father around. Oh, now I get it. Okay. Yeah. All right. You know everything. Never mind. Have fun with that. Anyway, so they're at that stage where they're getting exhausted. Life didn't turn out the way they were told it was going to be. That's for everybody young. I don't know if you knew this, but the older people lie to you. My generation now, especially, we had to take over for the boomers. But shocking. Did you know this? Side note, did you know the boomers gave us no training on how to lie to younger generations? Can you imagine there was no training program? Just like all the other jobs boomers offered. Matter of fact, they required a master's degree, bachelor's required, master's preferred, in lying to younger generations. So you'll forgive us Gen Xers, we're just kind of winging it here. We didn't get trained in by the pros. They're too busy being homeless. Watch the previous video. It's great. Anyway, so all the propaganda, lies, and bullshit has kind of come to a head at their age. And I mean about everything, not just men and what they're entitled to, but their jobs, career, I'd say spiritual, philosophical life, politics. We printed off so much money. How come things aren't perfect now? Because you got to bring about that perfection through hard work. That's how it works. not just sitting there bitching and whining. Like, I'm going to move some of other people's money from here to these people over here. Perfect. Yay. I help society. Every social work major ever. Such a good person I am. So yeah, you could see. Oh, I was that age. I mean, you guys were there, right? You remember how demoralizing that was when what you were told never manifested. You put all your hard work and effort and energy. I'm not faking it. I'm not even trying to be nice. I'm being genuinely sympathetic with these gals. How the hell I got a bump there? Hope that's not cancer. But in other words, that I would think they very accurately, more than your average TikTok girls, represent what a lot of women are going through and think, especially at that age. So I think, and you're going to not, by the way, now let me provide some constructive criticism or just point out some hypocrisy. The phrase decentering men, I look like it came out about 2 years ago. And I don't know if it's popular now. But this whole idea of we're not putting men first in our lives, you girls are a little late to the party. That was going on in the late 60s. Like, it's not like this is a new thing, putting men not center in your life. And if you want to go ahead, I don't know if you girls would have any interest. I really don't think you would. But I mean, it would help you. It would help you tangibly. Here's the problem with this book I'm going to recommend, okay? It's going to help you, but it isn't going to feel good. And I know if nothing feels good, it's not worth it. So there you go. Never mind. And there was the plug for that. But in that book, I went through some polling data about life priorities of women. And if you look at women's priorities, whether it was millennial or Zoomer girls, men were, what was it, 7th in the Zoomer girls, which kind of makes sense because a lot of them aren't even adults yet, so it's school and education. But the millennial ones were very interesting because these gals are squarely in their mid to upper 30s now, and men still ranked 4th behind children. What? So this isn't new. You just retitled a 50-year-old bandwagon of, I mean, the boomer women. I don't know if you noticed that whole divorce thing going on and Murphy Brown. Go way back in the day, Ally McBeal. Men haven't been a priority in women's lives in decades, literally decades. So I think maybe in terms of the current mission on your table, like, you don't pursue your first priority always all the time. You pursue multiple. So you're working, you're going to school, it's career, finances, education, maybe having some fun, with your girlfriends and all that. So you pursue multiple priorities at the same time. And a lot of times, like, especially on the weekend in your free time, okay, now I have time to focus on men. Why can't I get the men? And they make it sound like men were the center of their lives. I don't think men were the center of their lives. I think the men were the primary problem they couldn't solve. I think that's what it is, because, and if you think about this, ladies, it'll make some sense. And men, obviously, we figured this out. If I want to work hard, I can more or less control that variable. If I want to make more money, I can control that. I just simply go out and work 2 jobs. I put more time and effort into it. If I want to get a degree, I work and I study and I get my degree. There really isn't another human being preventing me from achieving those goals. There's only one human involved. With a relationship, any relationship, you got to convince the counterparty, the other person, to want to be involved with you. And that's why there's such frustration, because the girls are like, you think you've had nothing but track record of success. You got good grades in school, work hard, you get your internship, then you get a job, but now it's time for a man. And I've talked about this, how it's the boyfriend store. Girls literally think, okay, at 31 and a half years old, when I have like 3 good eggs left, I'm going to go to the boyfriend store, get myself a boyfriend, and he's going to have 6 figures, and some ridiculously statistically impossible thing. But that's what they've been told. They're out of those. They're all on Lend-Lease. They're all been leased out amongst a bunch of gals. You're not going to find that. Why do you hate women? Never mind, go do it. I don't care. It's not my life. And so then they run into a wall for the first time in their life, not getting what they want. I'm not saying they didn't work hard for the previous stuff either, but they hit this wall because there's another human being involved, and that human being may not necessarily want to get engaged in a relationship and stuff like that. And so there's the great frustration. So I think it's their main problem. It's not like if you got a wasp in the house, do you have bigger concerns in your life? Well, yeah, your health, the mortgage, retirement planning. But at that moment in time, it's that wasp. You got to do it. You got to get it out. You got to kill it. And I think this is the immediate problem. And that's why so much effort and focus is put on it with the gals. But that's where they are. And that's where I think they're howling at the moon and complaining about the men. Because those damn men just aren't letting us buy them off the shelf. Don't they know I have a schedule? I'm 31 and a half, and according to my schedule and my astrology sign, you should be proposing to me in 3.2 months. So that's where it goes. So the origins, I want to go into origins. So where's their frustration aside from the fact they've been lied to about everything in their life? Sorry, we try to do a better job lying, ladies. We're just Gen X. We're not as good as the boomers. We weren't the original. We weren't the greatest of all time. We got no training. There's no tutelage or mentoring about lying to you. But a couple things here as to why they have this frustration and they're abandoning their pursuit of men, to which guys would say, you were pursuing us before? First, it is the tragedy of women, and this is the biggest tragedy of modern day women. We got to term this so we can identify it because it is the biggest tragedy. They're chasing the guys who don't want them. The vast majority of men do not see this. That doesn't mean it's any less real. You see, you experience what it's like being a normal, average, everyday Joe guy. The women are yelling and screaming at you on the internet, or men are all pigs. You only want one thing. And you're like, what did I do? I'm having just as hard a time as you, lady. And what you got to realize is it's not you. This is Chad. This is Tyrone. This is Rafael or Esteban, or whoever the Latino version of Chad is. And because we'll get into it, but overall, the quality of men have gone down. I'll go into that later because that's true. And this is another reason for women's frustration. So you got a bunch of guys living at home. They're soy boys, millennial. They need government aid. They got mental disorders, rank and file Democrat men. And these girls obviously are not attractive. But they've always wanted the top tier guy. They've also been conditioned and promised. And I think that's probably the worst thing. You are entitled to a Jason Momoa, your Prince Charming. And I've even talked to girls like this who I respect. And they're like, oh, no, they'll never settle. No, we are. Like, and this girl, who is normally a very empirical, very intelligent woman, lost it. I mean, she didn't throw pans through the roof or anything. But she's like, no, Aaron, you don't understand. We will never give up on that dream. And a lot of this, solidified my belief in that women are the way they are. I mean, and I'm like, okay, well, you're a smart gal and I trust you. Also further cementing this has been the advent of online dating. So women see all these men, they get all this attention. And when spoiled for choice, you will choose none. Okay. That's how it goes. That's fine. But what this does is heavily skews the market. I know you all think it's kind of like sophomoric. I use statistics. Like, how can you possibly estimate that? I'm like, well, online dating has provided us a lot of data. And I'll admit right now, it doesn't map on perfectly to the real world, but it's a start. We got some proxy data. And if you look at swiping data, which I'm aware, online dating is not the real world, but girls are really only interested in the top 5% of guys. It's not 20%. That's rating them on a scale of 1 to 10. Where they did, and that's true too. 80% of women find unattractive. All right, so 80% are minimum gone. But if you look at swiping data, where women actually let you know they're interested, that's 5%. And another thing you may want to use to corroborate that is go out. I mean, how many times have you had a girl flirt with you or indicate something to you? Right? I don't got a ring on my finger. Yeah, and I'm an okay looking guy. I'm no Jason Momoa, but I'm okay looking. I don't have girls like flirting with me or giving me an indicator of interest or any of that other kind of stuff. It's, and yeah, I'm only 5'9", kind of a smaller guy too. So I get it. I know my place on the bell distribution curve. I know where I stand. And how was I going with that? Oh, women will not settle. They will not settle. They insist, they demand a top 5% guy or nothing at all. And so when you see a video like this, women screaming at the internet or whatever, you have to understand that is they're not talking about you guys. They're not talking about Joe the plumber or Aaron the podcaster or Chad the accountant. They are talking about the alpha that widowed them. They're talking about the Chad or the Tyrone or the Esteban. What's Asia? What's a sexy Asian name? Help me out here, guys. I just know like Yang or something like that. I don't know their version of John. Because that's in their market, in their world, that's the only men that exist. That's the only men that exist are these top 5% men. And what they don't realize is because the market is so skewed, these guys are getting all the women throwing at it. And male sexual nature is that we want to bang as many hot women as possible and commit to none of them. Now, there are some men who would like to settle down and have a family. Yes, I understand that. These men would still like to bang some women on the side. You can get sand in your hoo-ha over that. I didn't make up the rules. Nature did. If you have a problem with that, take it up with nature. Anyway, because of this great impasse, and because the majority of men have gotten worse, and the majority of women, at least up until the age of 40, are not really interested all that much in marriage, or become less and less interested in marriage and commitment. These guys, and with online dating as well, these guys have harems. These guys have the lives billions, tens of billions of men before us have only dreamed of having. And some actual, like whatever King David had. These guys have what they want. And when you give them, you girls, Aaron, are you going to try try to tell women facts? Here we go again. You're ready to hang on. Let me grab a pan and bang my head with it. Men's main goal is not to commit to you or really any girl, unless they really want to be a dad and have a wife. Okay, but they still want to bang other women. And so these guys that are the top 5% of guys have achieved the pinnacle of human success for men. And when you come in there and say, "Hey, do you want to commit to me?" That's like a guy who's got a Ferrari and you come in like, "Hey, you want to buy this Chevy truck? You want to trade in for a Chevy truck?" But it's commitment. Guys don't want the commitment. Not really. And so where used girls think that the commitment is the Ferrari, men don't think the commitment is the Ferrari. And you girls think you confuse sex with commitment. And then you had sex with the guy, which to this day I'm confused. I thought sex was a good thing and you were equal to men and interchangeable with men. And you get all upset because you weren't compensated, which is ultimately what it is. And by compensated, I mean the guy committed to you. It's like, what? Was there a contract? Was there? And it's really weird. Then like the brain goes out. The logical thinking brain of girls go out there and then they're emotional and pissed off. It's like, wait a minute. He didn't say he didn't agree to that. You were all about your career and education, don't need no, blah, blah, blah. And now this guy doesn't commit to you. Or shocked, did you know the top 5% guys might be banging other women? Then they find out, oh my God, did you know Tyrone, the drug dealer who's jacked and looks like T-Rash? Did you know that T-Rash is banging other women? No, I never would have thought that. Well, here's Darius, the reliable black plumber. Would you like to date Darius? Oh God, no. Ew. Ooh, gross. But don't you become a passport, bro, and go overseas and find a nice woman. Don't you dare do that. And thus the contradictions and the crying and complaining begins. And so I think that's the origins. And then, you guys, I don't know, on a care, intellectual honesty, or an attempt to make women happy. Oh, I'm funnier than Bill Burr. Woo, that was funny. You would say, well, look, why don't you settle for Darius the plumber, or Frank the accountant, or Jose the roofer? Why, those guys are good guys, and they're in pretty good shape. No, they don't want that. They are going to get the Jason Momoa. And then also, I could see where women would look at that and say, okay, that's a strategy. Maybe I could lower my standards, a little bit. I'll just date the 9.7s now. But if they look at the sea of men that are out there, I got to agree with the women. They're shit. They're weak. They're living at home. They're faking disability. They're faking mental illness, or they actually have mental illness and they are collecting disability. Either way, it's untenable. It's not good for dating. They're unreliable. A lot of them still live at home. A lot of them are collecting government checks. A lot of them do pot and watch the prawn. They're fat. They're out of shape. They're soy. And I got a point. Hang on. Give me the pan. I'm going to bang my head again. You girls know you voted for that, right? You told men you want a bunch of sensitive female pussies. You vote for the Democrat Party here in the United States, different left-leaning parties in different countries. You give them the money, and you're shocked that they ended up becoming a bunch of pussies. I mean, what's more important to you, voting for the Democrat Party or finding masculine men that you want to fuck? It is a choice. You can't constantly put life on easy mode for everyone, but in this particular case, men. You can't lift the weights for somebody at a gym and expect them to get muscles and manifest and turn into a man. Shocking. Wait. You're telling me that when you gave men every excuse in the book about being disadvantaged, having mental disorders, just because reasons you're entitled. Andrew Yang, remember the UBI? We want UBI, and wouldn't it be great? And then you're shocked that none of these boys galvanize, process into, metamorphize, or turn into men. It is challenge, hard work, self-supportation. You bitch about guys not making money. What do you do to keep giving them money for free? Oh my God, could you? Oh, it's like I know a buddy, his wife would feed the raccoons because she felt sorry for the family. And she fed the raccoons. She couldn't. Why do they keep coming back? You girls don't understand this. You keep feeding the raccoons. Like, why do the raccoons keep coming back? You give men free money. You don't encourage them to be independent. You give them, Lord knows at the Democrat parties, especially at the municipal level, whether you give them free drugs and needles and housing and healthcare, and you're shocked they don't grow up to be real men. Why are the raccoons back? Well, we might as well feed them while they're here. I don't get it. And so, I don't know, you made your bed, ladies. You're Amber Heard. You're surprised there's a turd in the bed you have to sleep in. So what I think you're seeing is a lot of gals in this particular case, going back to the parallel, is women are going through red pill rage. They are angry, as they have every right to be, that they were lied to by society. I think their anger is misplaced on men a little bit, because Chad doesn't owe you anything. Chad is not your slave. Commitment is creepy. # commitment is creepy. Stop forcing commitment on us. It makes us uncomfortable. I don't feel safe around you anymore. Where the hell was I going with that? Oh, so they're very angry. They're angry at the men who didn't live up to the expectations that their boomer parents and professors and media and women's magazines all said that they were entitled to. They're pissed off that Ryan Gosling hasn't shown up with a bouquet of flowers and a Ferrari. And then I I don't know if I don't think they do. I don't think oh, here we go again already. The internet is slow. Let's wait. All right, I think it's back. Uh Come on, internet, get back. There we go. I think they do blame all men. They don't take the time to say, well, did you go out with the drug dealing, you know, MBA salesman with the fancy boat that he took out on credit, or did you go out with Steve, the accountant, or Frank the engineer? And I just because it's not being delivered, they take it out on you men. And guys are a little bit kind of do that too. The girls that screwed you over are the ones that you want to get with. You like fat girls in the past never really did much to me because I didn't have an interest in them. So, in full intellectual honesty, I'll admit that. But yeah, so there you go. That's what I think is happening. I think they're just getting pissed off. They're going through red pill rage. Ladies, I'd like to. I know you go through it. Guys go through it too. But you and I think this is good progress. I actually do think of a therapist or whatever view. You're accepting reality and moving on. And we start to see that in the numbers. And so you asked me, the client did, how would it help? What would be germane in the book, The Menu? We're not talking the movie. We're talking about the book that I wrote before the movie came out called The Menu: Life Without the Opposite Sex, because they're forecasting about half of you gals are not going to be married or have kids by 2030. And if we look at polling numbers and data, all the data bears out. It all bears out. I know you girls would like to get married, but you're only going to get married to this microscopic percentage of the men. So there's not enough of them to go around. And most of those guys aren't going to get married. So people ain't going to be getting married. You girls prioritize your career and everything else over having kids. Many of you do want kids, but you wait until egg freezing time to do it. I don't know why, but I'm not your mother. I'm not your father. I don't care. Do what you want. What do you mean Down syndrome? But 45 is the new 25. Oprah said so. And here's your medical bills for the rest of his or her life. The menu, which if you don't know, is a menu of everything you can do in life. And I had to come up with it because half the population, obviously my audience being skewing male, you're not going to have family. You're not going to have kids. That is normally what gave everybody purpose and reason to live. That's going to be off the table for half of you. And so you need to figure out what to do with the rest of your life because you're here. And a lot of people are wrestling with this. That's why I sat down and I came up with a list of things. And not like, oh, go travel and eat food. Yeah, that's on the list. These are not, those are givens. But more deep, philosophical, spiritual, existential reasons. So that when you die, childless and alone, that's what's going to happen to half of you, you don't regret wasting your life. You say, you know what? I did the best I could. Men are a little bit further down this road than you. And by further, I mean like 2 decades. Men have come and accepted the fact that a lot of them just aren't going to get married. They're not going to have kids. And so they're trying to figure out what to do with their life. And if you want, you could take a book, take a page from their book. But I consolidated it into The Menu. And if you want, you can even get the hardcover one because it's like a real menu. It opens up all nice. Although it's expensive. I won't lie, it is expensive. So if you just want the philosophy in it, you can go get Kindle or paperback or audio. Anyway, in The Menu, I go through things that will give both men and women purpose and reason in life. I call that the shareables or the appetizer menu. There is a men's menu that gives men point, purpose, and reason to live. And since men and women are different, super hypersonic there's also a women's menu. And I admit women are different. And in the beginning of this video, I try to tell you girls, well, maybe you should contribute to the IRA, doobie doo boo boo, but you want none of that. I've found if Oprah taught me something, You girls will only consume what you want to consume. And since there ain't going to be anyone else in your life, you can ultimately be selfish. And I use that as a guiding principle to channel my economic, philosophical knowledge and background and experience to give a women's menu. And so you could go through the women's menu and say, oh, this is what I can do without men in my life. So if you are decentering men, there's a list. And I just kind of I looked at what women were doing and what they found happiness and joy in, or at least what they said. And I did that, and I said, well, what are the common traits and variables? And I extrapolated from that. And so I hope the women's menu gives you a lot of point, purpose, and happiness in meaning. Assuming, which is a very good assumption, half you ain't getting married. Aaron, did you just tell them statistics when they have it in their mind? Ryan Gosling, yeah, I know. But guess what? I don't make any sales off of women in this. It's really tragically sad. It's some genius level work. I mean, if you guys, those of you who bought the menu, if you're a guy, go read through the women's menu. You'll applaud me. It's brilliant what I did there. But I know, like, here. But the premise says I won't get what I want. Yeah, you're not. I don't want that. All right. Someone's using the internet now again. All right, let's go to the super chats if we have any. We do. We have 8 of them. Thank you here. Donna Hannaford, $2 Australian, our Australian mistress agent. I'm just okay. All right, somebody's watching their Oprah now. God darn it. Kuwant, women I know I am one. Women I know I am one. Are you really, Donna? You hang out with us guys. I don't know if you really are. Don't you have a real job too? Speaking of quants, nonstop Dre. $2. Did the GF chase after you when you met her? She did. She lost a bunch of weight and cooked a ton of food for me. She started dressing sexy and looking like a woman. Oh my God, shock. And she got him. It also helped that a couple of the gals I was dating were like legit mentally ill and one was violent. And I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm done. I'm so done. Mr. Patrick James, $5 generous has nothing to say. Thank you. $5 again from Low Tier Tactical. All society is ingratiation. You mean integration or ingratiation? Mean ingratiated to. Anyone is only as good as the opportunity that's given to them. You are correct. Because I view it from more of a value perspective. Women lie to themselves. It's a lie. This is not an opinion. It's a lie. This idea of self-love or self-value. Value can only be given to you by someone else. You cannot value yourself. You can have self-respect, but if you are to become a valuable person, that means there must be another party that you're providing value to. I don't know who this is. Oh, New York. Yeah, like I'm picking up a phone call from New York. So it requires someone else to confer value to you. Value cannot be internally conferred. That's called masturbation or narcissism. And so when you are given an opportunity by another person or society and you do not avail yourself of that opportunity, you do not provide value. So you have an opportunity to become an engineer, a plumber, somebody who offers value. You have the opportunity to become a good father, a good mother, a good friend, or a good compatriot. You have the opportunity to be a good neighbor, fix up your house, make sure whatever. I don't know. You have an opportunity, but it's all about other people. And now there's this, sadly, a cancerous thinking going through women that they're just valuable unto themselves, which is the main philosophy going around in women's media circles like Lizzo or Taylor Perry, Taylor Swift, Taylor, them gals. It's all about self-love and the power of you. It's like, enjoy being lonely. You have no value. You don't have any value. I mean, if you're a dentist, you have value. But if you're just some 18-year-old twit, like, oh my God, I'm so valuable and the power of me. Like, no, you really could not exist and nothing would happen to society. Probably be better off because you're collecting welfare. Jane Doerr, $2 super sticker. Thank you, Jane. Oh, Mr. Patrick James, 20 generous. Look at that. Look at that. Cappy's going to go get, I don't know, gas. I don't buy fun stuff anymore. I bought everything I needed, and now there's nothing left to buy. I mean, there's IRA contributions. As unpopular and non-feasible as it may be, to truly bring back accountability to both men and women, mainly women, requires two things. Outlaw elective abortion, eliminate hormonal birth control. Impossible, but this is the way. That would work. I think there's a better way to do it, and that is you eliminate the welfare state. You require men and women to work and support themselves. The government is not supporting anyone anymore. That would send women and men back to needing each other. But then it brings about the philosophical debate. Do you want men and women needing each other? Now, if I had to have a choice, like, I don't want to pay extra taxes just so women don't need men. I don't want women to need men either, but here's an idea. Women could work for a living and support themselves without the aid of the government. That way, both men and women would have to go through the trials and tribulations of self-supportation, becoming a mature, responsible adult. And then you might actually have human beings that are capable of falling in love with and being loved. But right now, you have just a bunch of spoiled, rotten children, either coming from daddy's wealth in the suburbs or a government check in Section 8 housing. I don't care if it's the barrio, the ghetto, the trailer park, or the suburbs. You're all a bunch of worthless human beings because none of you have had to work. So yeah, I mean, all of a sudden, oh, I got a kid. We need to come together and take care of the kid. Fine. I would say you need to get rid of the welfare state. Oh, no, I'd have to be responsible for my decisions. Yeah, you might become a better person in the process of it. Fujin Ryu, I believe Japanese friend. $5 for moving to Henderson. You forgot to mention how much higher insurance premiums are here. Not as bad as Florida, California, but it's still a jump. Yeah, it's not cheap. Nonstop Dre, $362. Cappy's too short to even have down. Good one, Dre. Good one. Donna Hannaford, $2. It's 2 a.m. here at work. Is a daylight thing to do. Good for you, babe. Good for you. And Kevin, Gay Rebel America, $2. Most modern women are narcissists. Yeah, I'd go with that. Wow, that's a scary image there. I didn't look at that. Yeah. I generally, yes, but I would say that most men are as well. And maybe not so narcissistic, but defeatist. I guess there'd be unnecessarily so. But yeah, I just watched I just wrote about this in the new upcoming book where I'm talking about different industries in the economy and how some industries, okay, yeah, measured by financial transactions, they contribute to GDP, but they actually destroy GDP. Like activists destroy GDP. They slow and destroy economic growth. I was talking about women's media, where in an all-female world, women's media would absolutely prevent women from going forward and progressing and improving, because the whole concept right now at this point in time, not always, but if you look at good homekeeping, it was like, okay, here's how you maintain a good home: providing value to society, in this particular case, your family. But here, it's true narcissism. It's self-worship. You're great and amazing the way you are, and you don't have to do anything, and you're entitled to the world. That is not a social spirit or core, an ideology or religion or movement that is going to move a society forward. It's just going to have you sit on your ass and do nothing. It would bring about, there would be no economy. Joe Orbits, 20 generous dollars. Is that Fist of the North Star? I've been watching your videos for a month, and I just wanted to say thank you for saying the quiet part out loud. I got nothing to do, man. Nothing. I try to be a real worker. You don't know this. This is your new. I'll tell you. I try to be a real worker. I try to be a real working citizen to the economy, and I had the potential to be great and make great contributions to the economy and society and help out a lot of people. And the boomers, the powers that be, wanted nothing to do with it. They wanted absolutely nothing to do. I'm not saying that out of grandiosity or anything. Read my first book and you'll see what I'm talking about. So, okay, you're not going to reward hard work, work ethic, discipline, and I'm going to shout it from the rooftops. You want to hear another quiet part out loud? No guys like fat chicks. Oh my God, he said it. I have a girlfriend of 3 months now, but hearing these ideas I've had out loud is therapeutic. Thank you and take my money. TY and take my money. Well, thanks, Joe. I'll gladly take $20. All right, link below is a link, obviously, to the book called The Menu, Life Without the Opposite Sex. I recommend all you girls tuning in who are decentering men read it. You don't have to read the men's part. I know you wouldn't take it to heart anyway, so don't bother with that. Just read the women's menu. Put your heart and soul into it. I agree that men are, you don't need men no more. They're not making you happy. They should be abandoned or reprioritized. And I wish everybody luck. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.